So this will be a great discussion as we look at Cardano and more specifically the Cardano price, because we've had some great headlines, we've had some great catalysts, but the Cardano price is still not moving. All right, so I want to share with you guys my thoughts. We'll talk about some of these big updates that we have mentioned prior, but we're going to kind of bring it all full circle. I appreciate all you returning to the channel. If you are a returning subscriber, I thank you. Also, if you're not subscribed, completely free to do so. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. And let's get into the news, okay? Before we get going, though, we are going to take a dive into the Cardano price. Please remember that this is not financial advice. Always be sure to do your own research and due diligence. But what a day for crypto. The top 100 is booming. And as we look at ADA, up 9.3%, just under 59, I should say just under 60 cents on the day. As we look at where Cardano is headed, we have not breached 60 cents. But as we look at the trading view, we kind of talk about where Cardano's at. And obviously what I'm telling you is not financial advice, but if you do look at kind of my sketches and drawings that we do follow along on the charts, and I kind of leave these up here for a reason, because when we do make updates, we continue, you can kind of see where I'm right, where I'm wrong. And as we look at this trend line, which I called the floor for Cardano, right? Anytime Cardano dips below 60 cents, I think it's just kind of way oversold in my personal opinion. This is kind of where I want to see it trading at, and that's going to be upwards of 70 cents for ADA. I think that's kind of where the midline is if we want to look at this stretch that we've had since February of 2025. And the really thoughtful discussion that we have to kind of put in perspective is, as we are starting to see these moving averages cross over one another, is will Cardano get back up to this range around 90 cents to $1.15? That's kind of where I want to see Cardano head to. Obviously, you guys do as well. But me personally, I don't really have that short-term instinct when it comes to ADA. Okay, this is a longer-term play. It's a hold for me, and that's just kind of what I'm doing with my ADA personally. Okay, I'll never tell you guys to buy or sell crypto. It's not financial advice. I wanted to share with you guys kind of my sentiment before we get going into the news. Okay, but if you are looking to trade crypto, check out our friends at BTCC. Quite frankly, the best promotion I think that I've seen with all the exchanges that do approach me, and what they're offering here with my link down below, you will get 10% bonus on your first time deposit, okay? Not only that, to go alongside of it, you will get 40% lower trading fees, as well as there is the ability to trade spot and leverage on this platform, okay? And if you are a leverage trader, check it out, do your research, do your due diligence, and if you want to start trading on BTCC, I want you to read about it, because you can get extra bonuses of up to $10,055 per user. Okay, so that's what we got going on in that regard. Understand their terms and conditions. And if you want to start trading on BTCC, links down below, check it out, and remember to do your own research. Okay, but why has the Cardano price remained down? Okay, and I know a lot of you guys are probably chuckling watching this video and saying, I've been a Cardano holder for 75 years, you know, albeit obviously I know that Cardano has not been around for that long, but a little comic relief, because myself included, I bought Cardano as high as $2.90, one of my biggest crypto transactions I've ever made. Okay, so took that one off the chin a little bit, but fortunately enough, if you do have a longer term mindset, you do have the ability to lower your cost basis. And as Cardano traded below 25 cents for quite some time, we did have that pretty much right there in our reach. All right, and that was something that thank God that it did drop that low, or else I would have been kind of underwater as it came to that trade. All right. But as we get into this is what you have to look at, okay? We have that Coinbase boost, also the XRP integration for ADA. But the biggest catalyst for me, in my personal opinion, is going to be the DeFi, bringing DeFi to Bitcoin, okay? So that layer 2 solution is something that I definitely have my eyes and sights set on. But as we looked at Cardano, okay, and over the month of June, as you look into the month, we're down 11.3% in the last 30 days, reaching a low point of 51 cents. And that's kind of where you look into that 16% overall decline in the month of June. You have to kind of understand the major ecosystem milestones that we have had, okay? Coinbase, okay, wrapped ADA. That's kind of been where we've seen the layer 2 network as Base has enabled ADA holders to participate in dApps within the Coinbase ecosystem while still remaining connected to the Cardano blockchain. Okay, so that's been a big one, right? We had that huge Coinbase integration. Also, the spot markets, 182 million, okay? That's where we saw the demand for Cardano tank. This is something where you saw a lot of people withdrawing personally from ADA because they did lack the confidence for the near-term growth within Cardano, okay? And you can see this by the spot inflow outflow graphic that's on your screen. My head's kind of in the way, but you can see kind of on the right side how Cardano, we've seen that net flow really represent a negative value that has contributed to the decline in Cardano's price. Okay, but as the buying kind of went out the window and we looked more so into the sell-offs within Cardano, the on-chain data showing that there was a lot of the Cardano holders in profit, that began to fall as well. That was where we saw a plummet of 27% over the last month of people not being in profit when it comes down to their ADA. So basically fewer holders in profit, okay? But the other thing that kind of is noteworthy to mention, okay, the XRP integration. All right, that's something that I want to talk about more so within what Cardano and Charles Hoskinson and his team are looking at within some of those numbers. And I know they're kind of outlandish, okay, when you look at kind of how you can tap into the $1 trillion or whatever they called within the DeFi world, you know, and just if Cardano becomes multi-chain, and that's kind of the reason why they're dabbling into Bitcoin, the reason why they're dabbling into XRP and trying to integrate within that, okay, that's how you get more users to have Cardano, okay? And personally, I'm very bullish on their tech. I love what Cardano does intrinsically, but I got to be honest with you guys. I've dabbled into some Cardano meme coins, right? And, you know, in terms of DeFi, I think if you're a crypto trader and you're not trading on DeFi in that regard, I think you're at a disadvantage because in the short term, that's kind of where the best growth potential is, in my personal opinion. It's not financial advice. But as I dabbled into the Cardano ecosystem, the one thing I kind of took away from it all was, yes, there's some great projects, great narratives, but the fees are so ungodly high that in comparison to Solana and some other blockchains such as XRP, it's just kind of where you look at them taking a pole position where they're not coming out of the gate and they're getting into DeFi and they're expanding, but we're not seeing kind of the similar reasons why you get into DeFi on other blockchains versus others, okay? And I think that's something that's going to hold Cardano back as they continue their expansion. Now, as we look at kind of the struggle, this is something where the possibility of Cardano even dropping down to the 50 cents territory does remain. But myself included, with a lot of other people that I have talked to, I personally believe that Cardano, like I said, is more so built right now in today's fair market and the valuation, in my personal opinion, to be trading into that 70 cents territory. I think that we've just been completely oversold. I think that it's followed suit with the rest of the market sell-offs, and the overall macro right now that we have hitting the broader crypto market, it's been kind of gloomy across the board, okay? But seeing Bitcoin almost touching 110,000 gives me some relief. The market's pumping. So let's enjoy this into the holiday weekend. If you do celebrate 4th of July, I'm sure a lot of people will be out, not watching YouTube videos, having a good time and celebrating the holiday. But if you're not, and you do have some time, there is still a lot of opportunities that remain because if we do take off, and if this is just a tip of the iceberg where we're having, yes, a 10% day, it would not shock me whatsoever if Cardano was back down at 50 cents. And conversely, if Cardano reclaimed 70, 80 cents, it also would not shock me whatsoever. So those are my updates for the day I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your biggest catalysts for Cardano, I think, in 2025? What do you see coming down the pipe? I want to know your thoughts down below. Please leave me a comment. I do appreciate you guys all watching. Also, if you do want to start trading on BTCC, a link is down below. Enjoy those sign-up perks. Thank you once more, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.